They have the hard-hitting analysis.
I'm anti-injury, so maybe this won't work out.
Kyler's only playing one tight end this week, so that's probably going to help him out a lot.
They tell it like it is.
That's not what I needed, Grandma Nut.
All right, the hipster fantasy player.
I don't do anything.
Their listeners love them.
Found all your charts boring, to be frank. Caitlin was the star of the show.
They break down all the statistics.
20 points. That doesn't quite add up. Maybe had 93.
This is the Snick Snack Sports Podcast.
Here we... All right, Snickers, help me out.
Oh, what's going on, all you Patriots fans that get to have a bye this week and don't have to worry about this guy throwing more interceptions in the fourth quarter? How are you doing today, Nate?
Doing great today, Snickers. Coming at you guys on a Saturday. How is your weekend going so far?
Week's going so far so good, except for Thursday Night Football, but we can talk about that in a little while. Got an quote-unquote easy matchup against Kyler this week, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I know the injuries are hitting some people hard this year. We've got a great show for you today. We've got Karson on the show for the first time in the show's history, so we'll be excited to have him join and have him hear about his first year and a half in the league. And so let's get into the standings. We have now a three-way tie for first place. Things are heating up this year with the defense and the punter in there now and the individual defensive player. It's been a tighter league, I think. But John, Nick, and mid-tier Nick all at the top. And then me, Karson, and Kyle round out the playoff hunt. But we've got really everyone in it besides Matt and Kyler, I would say.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. Katie and Kyler faced each other this week, meaning one of them are going to lose. And if Kenny's not able to beat Matt, then I'm jumping up into playoff position right now with a win. But yeah, 7-3 is very, very cool to see three of them up there right now, basically guaranteeing themselves playoff spots.
Yeah, the way I see it is that a 7-7 team is probably going to win. If they season it right now, 2 5-5 teams are decided based on the tiebreaker. So I think 500 football is going to get you into the playoffs if you have the right tiebreaker. So this whole range from like me down to Shane, the matchups are going to be very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So last week had some exciting matchups. I know I had a big win over Kyle with the help of Austin Eckler. Najee Harris came through for me. Despite having Taylor Heineke get injured.
And with the help of Tyler Boyd and Kyle's team dropping that touchdown pass.
Yeah, and Jahan Dotson not playing somehow, or he played, but not really. So, but the Olive Man had another very commanding win. Kyler had one of his best games of the year, beat Kenny, which was a huge upset. On the back of Justin Herbert. Oh no, Justin Herbert was Kenny's. So Kyler obviously not happy to hear about the Joe Burrow news.
No, and he didn't play him on Thursday anyway, so good for him. But yeah, if you look, I kept up my winning streak against Nick Adams. Still, as far as I know, never lost to him. It was close. It came down to Monday Night Football, but was able to pull out the dub.
Yeah, yep. Actually a very similar score to my game. Karson had there was actually a week of just kind of not close games. Now, I don't know if we've formally looked into this, but John may have scored the highest total ever in our league. Then we have 3 more players this year. So does that really mean anything? Hard to say. I mean, no, it doesn't mean the same thing as Katie's 190 something point game last year. But still, we'll have to look into whether a record was just set.
Outscoring John by over 100, outscoring Shane by over 100 points is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and that was with, I mean, there was really 3 players that went off: CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Keenan Allen. And of course, we always knew John has just the nastiest wide receiver core because, I mean, Mike Evans with 26 points on his bench, and he made the right decision to bench him. That's just so crazy to me. Adam Thielen fallen off a little bit recently, but yeah, So things are heating up. What's going on around the league?
Yeah,
In the NFL?
unfortunately, there's a lot of couple injuries coming out this week. I'll start with the minor ones. Michael Thomas with a knee. Derek Carr and Alex Madison have concussions. T. Higgins fractured rib, might be more than a week there. But he who should not be named ruled out for the season with a broken bone in his shoulder. You got Joe Burrow and Mark Andrews, who just played on Thursday. Both, it looks like they're going to be out for the season. They're getting a couple second, third, fourth opinions there, but it's not looking good. But what is looking good is there are a couple guys that might be coming back this week. Devon Achane, I apologize. Justin Fields, Justin Jefferson, fingers crossed, Sunday Night Football, and Pat Frymuth coming back from the IR. So we'll see exactly how that goes. Along with Matt Stafford, I'm not really following his story, but excited to see a couple of those guys come back into the league.
Yeah, no, the Matt Stafford story is actually a big deal to me because I traded away Puka on the premise that when Matt Stafford gets back, his injured thumb is going to be, I thought is going to be hindering him for the rest of the season. And I don't know, Stuckey thinks he'll come back to form. But now just to talk about our bet a little bit as well. Last week was a little bit unfortunate. I mean, we obviously had done the Tank Bell, Nico Collins bet, and we don't get to really find out how that happens. Nico didn't play, and I knew that, so it was my responsibility to change the bet, as is our code. You know, if there's an injury, we reset the bet, but I didn't notice in time, so I by default lost, and I'm down 4-6.
But this week, you think you're gonna be able to get back up to the 5-point margin here?
Yeah, you know, I didn't learn from my mistake, and I've chosen another player with injury concerns. I think that Devon Achane is going to unseat Raheem Mostert, your running back, who's been a very central piece of your team. And you say you've got another week with him.
I say Achane's probably going to get 5 or 6 snaps. If he gets a touchdown and 50 yards, that's 11 points that Mostert needs to beat, which is pretty impressive with 5 snaps there. But I think Mostert's going to be able to do it against Las Vegas this week at home.
It's a juicy matchup for whoever gets the work. So, excellent. Yeah. So now before we invite our guests, we just have a quick word from today's sponsor. Or we will in just a moment. If my computer will run the ad, which it won't. Never mind, no ad today, folks. Welcome Karson, sorry. All right, welcome Karson to the show. First time on the show, Karson. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Thanks for joining us. I think the first thing that we want to know is just you're the newest member of the league. I think joined last year. How's the experience been so far?
So far so good. You know, anytime you're joining a league with family in it, it can be interesting. But yeah, so far, you know, nothing too out there. So
yeah, you and Kyler and Katie have a bit of a rivalry going on in the background.
Oh yeah. Well, that's you guys know Katie. You know, she's always got to be the pain.
Yeah, I mean she won last year, so she has a little bit of a leg to stand on at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think she's doing too well this year, though. Well, is she? I don't remember. I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, she's 4-6. She's tied with me right now.
Okay, it's
which
not too bad, not too great.
Yeah.
I never have to worry about my brother. He's I guess he did good before I got in the league, but ever since he hasn't been too good.
Yeah, he's the only back-to-back champ, but has not been good recently. But yeah, looking here, I mean, you and I are tied, Karson, for 6 and 4. So you actually do have a decent shot at making the playoffs this year. They put you at like 80%.
I'll take it.
What's been your strategy this year? Turning things around from last year.
Yeah, I guess I was the worst team in the league last year. This year, I don't know. I kind of just picking players, not doing too much research, and just hoping to get lucky, and things have been falling in place.
Good drafting, you think?
Yeah. I mean, I made a couple decent trades. Couple. Yeah, I haven't had to pick up too many people. Team's been staying healthy for the most part.
Yeah.
That is certainly true. Yeah, you kind of lucked out. Even like Devin Singletary now, I don't know if you followed, but he had a huge week last week, and now all of a sudden looks like a pretty viable starter.
Yeah, and Montgomery's been doing pretty well.
Mm.
Dak is having fantastic weeks, and then he's having Dak weeks. But
No, Dax should have another great week this week against Carolina.
yeah, it is definitely an interesting where you have the defensive player and the defense, and then the kicker and a punter. A couple times it's saved me, a couple times it's hurt me, but it's
Mm.
it's new. It's new to me. Never done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's new to all of us. It was a bit of a Katie, I think, put pressure in the league to include the punters, and then Matt was like, "Well, let's kind of make it wild and include all the other weird positions too." Would you advocate for us to keep those around next year?
Um, I don't like the punter too much, just because I mean, that's just a little far out there. I know Katie likes the punters for no reason, but the D player, I'm cool with that. That's it's definitely like if you have a good defense, or if you know
Mm.
if you get a JJ Watt or TJ Watt, TJ Watt,
Yeah.
yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a TJ Watt, or something like that. I mean, obviously, I don't even know if you can pick him up. I have no idea. But
No,
I
yeah,
think
TJ has been doing great. He's leading the league in
I was
sacks right
getting,
now. So.
yeah, I just didn't know if he was one of the linebackers you can pick up or not. I haven't
Mm.
paid attention. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just like a quarterback, it can change the game. So
yeah, they've been scoring pretty high. Now what I think what a lot of people are wondering is what is your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers? He's been staying on the team. I see you haven't cut him. Are you trying to keep around for the playoffs?
he's coming back, dude. He's fine. He's got that special juice that he spilled all over the field, which I
Mm.
guess was tequila.
Yeah, apparently it was tequila. It wasn't a bong.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I joke with all my coworkers because they're all Eagles fans. So I tell everyone I'm a Jets fan just because they beat the Jets. So I just
Hmm.
have to keep a little bit of Jets on the team.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, I mean, I know you haven't had to make too many moves, and part of it is because just some of these bench players have worked out. Jonathan Taylor seems to be finally coming around. Now tell us, actually, you went bold and picked Bijan, I think third pick of the draft or something like that. What were you thinking there?
I thought what a lot of people were probably thinking that he was going to be, fantastic, but he's all right. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I think
There's a big.
Atlanta. I think Atlanta has a lot to work on.
Yeah, no, there's a big rivalry going on with a lot of fantasy footballers, and the coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Smith, says that Arthur Smith hates fantasy football and hates people who play fantasy football. That's why he's not playing Bijan Moore at the goal line, even though he did last week.
Gotcha.
But it does seem to be at least that he's outspoken about his dislike for fantasy football as a thing, even though it probably got him a higher salary. But
Well, I heard the Dolphins head coach, what's his name, Mike something. He was just joking about fantasy football because some reporter asked about keeping someone in a game, and he's like, "Damn, how much money you got on fantasy football?" And it was just so it's taken over the world.
Mm.
yeah, I think that some players and coaches are annoyed by it because it kind of complicates the job more than just like allegiance to the team and winning the game. But I think that like half of football fans at least watch the games just because of the fancy football. So it's making them a ton of money.
I believe it.
Now, so your matchup this week is against one of I think currently the highest scoring team in the league, which is Nick, the other Nick. And what do you think the key is going to be for you to win this week?
Definitely need my wide receivers to overperform. They they definitely need to get some great points for me there. I mean, all my running backs have been decent. Everything else have been decent. You know, the wide receivers this week, I just need them to come out and just, you know, get lucky. I mean, with Derek Carr being hurt, I'm hoping Myers gets a couple more looks from Winston, from a quarterback that actually knows how to throw the ball.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, going up against AJ Brown is never a fun time. Guys had well, I don't know if he's still on the streak, but he had like 5, 6 games with 125 and a touchdown or something like that, and it's just
Yeah.
been ridiculous. And CJ Stroud has come out of nowhere and just been amazing. I mean, I know he was good in Ohio State, but you never know. As soon as they hit the NFL, he could, you know, flop. But yeah, I
Yeah.
guess them playing against Arizona is not good either because Arizona sucks. Kyler Murray being back, maybe, you know, they'll have a little fight in them, but I didn't see it too much last week.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was disappointed last week too. And now I did trade Puka Nakua to Nick a couple weeks ago, and so we'll see if he actually strengthens his team. I thought I maybe was setting a trap for him because Matt Stafford still has this injured thumb. And I think it's just hard to throw football, even if you're, recovered for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, I was
Um,
hoping that Puka wouldn't get as many targets once Cup came back for
Mhm.
not that I have Cup in this league, but I have him in a couple other leagues, and I was hoping that Puka Nuka would just down, but
Mhm.
he never did.
Yeah, I
it's it.
know.
It's
In one of my other leagues, I got Cooper Cup, and I'm thinking about trying to put him on the bench and replacing him with some random guy with waivers here. It's a tough decision right now.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
it'll
world.
be if they have a good week this week, then I made the wrong decision on this trade, and you're in trouble. But if they're still kind of bad this week with Matt Stafford back, then I think that might be the case for a while. Now a couple other matchups we wanted to highlight. Who were you looking at this week, Nick?
Yeah, this week I was looking at a couple high scoring teams that are slightly underperforming, I would think, on the season overall. You got Kyle against Katie here. Got Lamar Jackson actually had a pretty good game for Kyle on Thursday. He has 34 points already with his Ravens and his Bengals on his team there. Going up against Katie with their Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Swift, Stephon Diggs, matchup here. I've noticed that while a lot of teams are going young, Katie's really trying to secure the win by going old on a lot of her players here. Get some guys that she knows that are going to be able to perform all year round, even if they're injured a little bit. But I think it's going to be a really fun matchup because Kyle's really the youth movement. He's doing pretty good in fantasy. In the last year, he had a pretty good season, but before that, he had not been, in the top 3, 4 players usually every year. I want to see how this matchup shakes out.
Yeah, I agree. Now, who do you think wins this game, Karson? Looks like
Let's see. Yeah, I mean Lamar had a great game. Had a scary,
Hmm.
little injury there. I think it was his ankle, I believe. Um, oh,
Yeah, I didn't watch that game, but I heard that he was slipping and sliding all over the field, and maybe the field wasn't in such good shape.
I think it's gonna be close, but I think Katie's gonna pull it out by like maybe a point or two.
That would make things interesting because right now they're 5-5 versus 4-6. It would just, I think, if Katie wins this, I think that pretty much guarantee that a team with a 7-7 record is going to make it into the playoffs.
Hmm.
And that would, I don't know if that make it easier or harder for you, Nick. Hard for me to do that math at this point, but
I think I'd be rooting for Katie to pull this one out. I'm not playing either of these two for the rest of the season, but if they both go to 5-6 instead of Kyle trying to solidify himself at 6-5, I think I have a better chance of sliding in there to the playoff picture. But what's going to be fun is it's coming down to Monday Night Football. Kyle's definitely going to be up at the end of Sunday, but Katie has Mahomes and DeAndre Swift playing on Monday night. It's going to be a really, really exciting game matchup for the Super Bowl, but it's going to be fun. You're tracking that throughout the whole week here.
Yeah, no, I gotta be rooting for Kyle to pull it out here just because I have the tiebreaker on him, and I'm pretty sure Katie beat me.
Mm.
So I want Katie to stay out of playoff contention, so she doesn't have tiebreaker over me. But I mean, T McBee, trade McBride, I he's going to have to come through for Kyle. Obviously, that was a great pickup. And yeah, Jerome Ford has to perform even with the backup quarterback in there, or
Yeah.
backup third string really. I also wanted to highlight this matchup between John and mid-tier Nick. These are two teams that are both 7-3. John's team is just ridiculous, even though he made it through Camp Gate and still is in first place. So I really don't see how he loses to Nick Adams. I know Nick Adams somehow in first place. Me and him have the same points scored at this point, so I think his team is a little bit anomalous in terms of his
I
win.
guess it all matters if Travis Kelsey's hanging out with Taylor Swift or not.
Yeah,
And
Taylor going. I think Taylor's still in Argentina, so I wonder if she's going to be in Philly this weekend.
He might be tired if he's flying out there though.
Yeah. Travis was in Argentina during his bye week too, so you never know what's going to happen.
I think he was in Argentina as recently as yesterday. I heard just when I was reading the news that he and Taylor spent the night in the hotel room because it was raining and she didn't want to look like she was having fun during her canceled concert.
Hmm.
Now, I think the key question, do we know if there's a time change between Argentina and wherever Travis Kelsey is going?
I think that they're definitely about
They're
2
playing in
hours
Kansas
behind.
City, so
They're playing in
If they're
Kansas City.
playing in Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Playing in,
playing in Kansas City, right? Okay, so maybe 1 hour behind in Buenos Aires.
okay, yeah, I guess going from South America to North America, the time change isn't really too big of a deal now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so Travis might be able to get away with it, but it could be another one of these World Series frivolous trips that if Travis Kelsey doesn't perform, he's gonna get in some heat.
Yeah.
yeah. And he definitely has to perform, against that Philly team because they are nasty.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, the Super Bowl rematch is gonna be a fun one. I might try to. I
Yeah.
don't usually tune into the Monday night games. I might try to catch that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nick Adams here though. I think he has a better team.
I mean, there you go. I mean, you gotta. Well, would you say that of your family members, he's the lowest rivalry? What is the rivalry factor on the Adams side of the family?
Well, Katie's number one. Like everyone goes after. You gotta put her up there, and then I would go. I gotta say Kyler just because even though he's awful at fantasy football, definitely we'll chat back and forth the most about it. Yeah, then I don't know. I don't really have too much beef with Matt or anything like that. Now he's technically part of the family, so he doesn't talk down on my team too much. So got a little respect there for that. So I put him, and then Nick's just that lovable guy,
Mm.
even though he just gets so lucky at fantasy.
Yeah. Got one question for you, Karson. We were playing some game with Karson and Kyler. Yeah, Matt and Katie's wedding, and Kyler is probably the best player I've ever seen. How are you in those long games? Are you pretty good?
It depends. How many beers deep am I?
I'd say let's go 10.
10 beers deep. We're getting it in the hole every once in a while on the old cornhole board. For the most part, we're pretty much just trying to stand up at that point. Maybe I don't know. It depends how fast we drink.
I see. Yeah, I mean, I was impressed.
If we're day drinking, I'm tossing. We're doing decent, but
yeah.
Now, are you coming from you're from Pennsylvania as well, right?
Yes.
Are you Bago people or cornhole people? Same game, different name. Which one do you use?
Cornhole.
Cornhole. Okay.
I've never heard of that. You said it, and I just kind of put two and two together once you were talking about Katie's wedding and stuff.
Well, I was surprised at him because Nick is a big detractor of using the term bago. I grew up with the term bago because my grandparents live in Pennsylvania, and I just thought, oh, this is the Pennsylvania word for cornhole. But maybe it's more specific to Scranton. I don't know.
No, I was trying to assimilate the Pennsylvanians there. I did not usually use that term at all.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. As first, even I don't think Nick's ever. I've never heard Nick say it, but
Very interesting. We'll have to do more research. But yeah, I was impressed by Kyler's cornhole game. He destroyed us all that weekend.
yeah, he's got the height advantage. Anytime he's good at anything, just tell him it's because of his height. It has nothing to do with him. It's just the height.
We will have to let him know. No, it's been fun having the show. We have one more part we want to talk through, which is the waiver wire. We can see that Shane went for the $69, more than half his budget on Ty Chandler. Thought that was an interesting move because Ty Chandler is only really going to play 1 week. But Nick, the Olive Man, also put 31 down. Your brother's spending big all of a sudden on a punter. If I remember correctly, Karson, you still have a large amount of your budget left. What are you saving it for?
Honestly, just in case someone gets hurt, and then I have to pick up someone. For the most part, the only thing I've had to really float out is, I've swapped out defensive players a couple times, and defenses, kickers, punters. None of that stuff really matters, so I can always swap it out after the waiver deadline.
Right. I've been trying to take that.
Yeah, so I just haven't had to do anything. So if anyone, gets hurt or anything, or if someone pops off out of nowhere, I have that money to throw down on someone.
I see. Just first week of the playoffs, spend all $100 on the new hot running back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whoever's good that week.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm surprised people are getting more and more willing to spend money as the year goes on. I tend to spend my money towards the beginning of the year. But people are getting a little less frugal these days.
I think everyone's scared of the injuries. It's what killing everyone.
For sure. Yeah, and then just any other thoughts you'd like the rest of the league to know, Karson, before we let you go?
Kyler and Katie, you're awful at fantasy football. I look forward to beating you guys. That's about it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, awesome having you on here, Karson.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Yep.
Yeah, great to finally have Karson joining us today. Have to quickly address, a lot of people have been talking about, I think what many are terming Losergate. Just, I did not send the message. We know that Shane is a wizard with the Photoshop and all that. I'm sure he even has engineered some audio of me confessing, but we all see the evidence before us. And so, Losergate is a lie. Don't fall for it. Maybe we should institute some disciplinary action. I don't know. What do you think, Snickers?
I think what's really interesting is School of Rock is both of your favorite movies of all time. So it's really hard to pick sides. I see where everyone's coming. They're coming from, both sides here. But yeah, obviously, I think you're getting luckier than Nick Adams getting this season with a couple guys not setting their lineups correctly. But other than that, I think I'm on your side. I have to defend you against Shane here.
Yeah, I'm sure that Shane will at some point join us to defend his name if he's still in the league at that point. We don't really know what the commish is going to be choosing to do. But yeah, now before we all end today, I think my wife Caitlin is just joining us to talk a little footy, specifically the AFLW. So please welcome Caitlin to the show.
Great, Caitlin. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. I know I saw you working hard today, catching up on the footy.
Yeah, the women's footy. They're currently in the postseason right now. Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's going on? What do you want to tell us about?
Oh, what was that, Nick?
No, I was saying, what teams are you looking at right now that you're rooting for?
I'm looking at the songs right now, not the teams.
Okay. Yeah, what's your favorite team song there?
Well, Nate's a Free Dockers fan. So we like the hair metal song. That's their club theme song. But we realized that for the women's teams, only 2 of the teams have women's sung songs. The rest just use the men's songs sung by men.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're trying to think of any women who could sing a Free Dockers song.
The Fremantle Dockers.
Free Dockers.
Yeah. Nate, free is the abbreviation there. You know what you're talking about.
Sorry.
No, Free Dockers is right. That's how the people locals say it.
Yeah. You not know that?
I cannot confirm or deny. I've never been there, but you had some ideas about maybe some people who would be able to bring the Dockers into the next era.
Yeah, so we want a female singer with a strong voice, preferably someone famous to bring more attention to footy and to female sports in general. So Sia is from Australia and she has a strong voice, but we're concerned because she's from how do you say it? Adelaide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she might be a fan of the Power or the Crows. So I don't think she'd be willing to sing the Dockers song. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, as a new power manager in our little league there, I think that's nice. Where's Iggy Azalea from? Ziggy Zigs.
So she was born in Sydney, and then raised somewhere south of Sydney, I believe.
You mean like Melbourne?
Like Melbourne?
Not Melbourne. I forget where.
Probably not Tasmania.
I don't think she'd really fit the hair metal vibe of the Fremantle Dockers song.
No.
That'd be a very interesting rendition.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Are any famous singers from Western Australia?
I could not find any.
I thought maybe Amy Sharp is from Western Australia.
Who's Amy Sharp?
We saw her in concert together, Caitlin. She's a huge. I'm sure Nick Snickers knows her.
Right? Amy Shark, yeah.
Where's she from?
she's from somewhere in the West, I think.
Yeah.
She mentioned it at the show.
What's her style of singing?
It's like pop. She's big there, I hear.
Okay. Well, maybe she can I don't know, adjust her sound a little bit. I feel like the lead singer of Paramore, while not from Australia, could add a nice grungy vibe.
No, that'd be a lot of fun.
It sounds expensive, though. If they already can't afford women singers to sing for most of the Australian football clubs, I don't know if they'll be able to afford Hayley Williams.
I mean, they can't afford to pay their players.
Do they not play their players?
I don't think they do.
Oh, the women, you mean?
Correct.
Well, I guess
we'll
really focus
start
on
to GoFundMe here.
Yes, I would agree. They should probably not blow their budget on the song if they need to pay their the main acts here.
Yeah. But I mean, apparently, they don't yet have like a large number of Australian football female players who have been like playing since they were kids. And as the women's sport popularizes, then I feel like the quality and the excitement of the game will build up, and then they'll get more money, and then maybe they can get some female singers to sing.
Those are definitely some important thoughts. Now, before we let you go, Caitlin, who is your money on for the championship?
Melbourne.
They are indeed a team that is still competing. So,
and there's a game tonight, right? At 11 p.m.
Yeah, Melbourne versus Geelong, I believe.
Yeah, will you be watching, Nick?
Oh yeah, 11 p.m. tonight. I don't have anything else to do. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, are we going tonight, Nate?
I don't know. Well, to be determined. So, I mean, the plane will not get us there in time for the live game, but
I guess we could still celebrate Melbourne's victory, right? At the pubs.
that's right. But no, thanks you for joining us.
Thank you.
And so anything you want to add before we go today, Nick?
No, just that it's a very fun week of fantasy football this week. Going against a lot of interesting matchups and a lot of interesting matchups in the real NFL too. But it'd be great to watch it.
Agreed. Yeah, as the playoffs are kind of the picture is solidifying both in real AFL or real NFL and in our league. And we'll see you all next week.